Great. So, folks who are looking at this title and the logo at the side must be wondering, I'm talking about stores, but I also have a mobile app where customer is pressing add to cart and a lot of discounts are coming in. That's because stores as they were few years back are no longer existent in the same format. They have undergone tremendous transformation, and especially in the last 2 years, stores have completely transformed themselves, and the retailers who haven't been able to transform themselves have either had to shut down the stores, or they had to shut down not only the stores but also their entire business. But there are certain retailers who have benefited only from a store only model. For example, Primark. So we will talk more about these examples as we progress. Uh, what I would like to start with is a headline that caught my attention while I was preparing for this meeting last week. Uh, Most of you would have heard about Ocado. Ocado is one of the largest British online retailer. It also claims to be the largest worldwide dedicated online grocery retailer as well. What Ocado did was it reported that its sales had started tumbling down because shoppers have gone back to their pre-COVID buying habits. What are the pre-COVID buying habits? Shoppers used to walk into a store. 90% of the purchases used to be from a physical format. It was only when COVID kicked in, 30 to 40% of the shoppers preferred to buy online because they wanted a frictionless, no contact shopping experience. But now with COVID receding, the vaccination being very effective, customers are having that revenge shopping wherein they want to walk into a store, experience the ambience, interact with the store associates, touch the product, pick up the product, evaluate options, experience the checkout, wait in queues, the whole gamut that a customer gets to experience when they walk into a store. Now, shares in Ocado closed down last week and they slipped 8%. And this was the biggest fall in FTSE 100 last week. Now, what does this tell for Ocado? Ocado not only has an online, is not only an online retailer, it also sells its technology. It monetizes its platform to various other retailers across the globe. It has partnerships with Morrisons in the UK, with Kroger in the US, with Auchan in Poland, and ICA in the Nordic countries, to name a few. Now, when Ocado's shares fall, it means that all these retailers' online sales have also started dipping down. That is the significance of this particular dip. And what is important to note here is most of the retailers, when they witnessed a 20% plus spike in the sales during the pandemic, they realized that we have to sustain it. So retailers who used to get 10 to 15% online sales year on year until 2019 December, 2020 Jan, they're witnessing a 30% sales spike. Now, year on year, they have to justify the investment in technology, and they started putting objectives and key results which show that I need to get, if not 30%, at least 20% sales from my online platforms. Talking about online platforms and the impact of post-COVID shopping experiences on the customer psyche, Gartner, which is the bellwether when it comes to a lot of retail trends, has predicted that by 2023, e-commerce will cease to be a differentiator in the retail marketplace. But why is that? Because a lot of these retail companies, the technologists would have already invested a lot in building the e-commerce platforms, but at the same time, customers would have started splitting the basket purchases from physical stores, from their from the online stores also. But again, it is important to note that physical stores will remain a vital part of the shopper's experience because it forms long-lasting customer relationships between the shopper and the retailer. It all this is prompting retailers to provide or enable differentiated customer experiences when the customer walks into the store. Retailers are now seeking to know the customer even before they walk into the store by predicting what they're going to buy, when they are going to buy, and how much they are going to buy, and at what price. Retailers are also planning to boost their spending on number of store openings. During the peak of the pandemic, we saw a lot of retailers, including the likes of Gap, Walmart, shutting down their underperforming stores. But what has happened now is they are trying to improve the experience of shopping for the customers who walk into the stores that are existing right now, which have not been shuttered down, with new formats. And how is that, how is these new formats going to impact shopping behavior is the differentiators that these customers would be getting in that particular yeah, in the store, and also the entire marketplace ecosystem. You have online, you have B2B marketplaces, you have stores. In that entire ecosystem, how are these physical stores going to be a differentiator? Now, when I was doing my research for this particular topic, one brand caught my attention. Nike is not a full-fledged retailer. It is not a manufacturer. It is a manufacturer, but again, it is doing really well in the direct-to-consumer market. How are they able to capture the imagination and the wallet share of the customer is clearly evident on this particular slide, because along with other retailers, Nike has transformed their positioning and store offerings to cater to a large section of customers and customer personas, and also customers wallet share. So if I take an example of, say, Nike Adapt is a fine example of how technology is coming together in a physical format, wherein when an athlete wears the shoe, it will tell what kind of fit, or what kind of fit will work for that particular athlete. If I look at NTC models for Nike, the Nike Training Club, it creates that community where trainers and athletes come together and interact, and this provides a tremendous brand push for Nike itself. And then you have Nike factory stores, you have Nike flagship stores, you have Nike.com, and then they have this technology tie-ups with the likes of Hero, wherein they do virtual commerce and social commerce, virtual commerce enablement, wherein customers sitting in their confines of their homes can experience a product and add to their cart and get it shipped to their homes. Now, how does this all tie up to retail stores as a service? Now, retailers have evolved from being just a transactional store. It's no longer a place where customer walks in, walks out, picking up their merchandise and coming back home, and then going back for their monthly purchase. They want to go into a store to experience the whole shopping experience, to experience the merchandise that is on display, to experience and use some of the fine products that are on display that have been made with cutting edge technology, or which have been sourced locally, if I talk about grocery products. Now, if I take the examples of experience centers, Xiaomi has a flagship store in Guangzhou, has a display of all the products possible. They also have the electronic vehicles on display along with their mobile phones. Comcast, which is the leading digital service provider in the US, has a store concept called Xfinity Store. There, customers can experience what kind of shows they want to watch, what kind of services they want to avail when they're watching certain shows. And why is Comcast doing all of this? Because they have so much of competition from the likes of Netflix that they have to transform themselves. And then Target Open House, which has been set up by Target in downtown San Francisco, is another fine example where customers not only get to touch and feel a particular Target merchandise, but also experience sustainability, circular merchandise, and the art of fine buying inside these stores, because it is less of a transactional store and more of an experience center. Closer home, you would have seen Fab India, you would have seen most of the stores transforming themselves. In Bangalore, in the commercial district in Brigade Road, you have Samsung Experience Center, which is set up in a heritage building, and that itself creates that wow factor when a customer walks into the store. Now, one interesting point is what we have seen is most of you would have heard about pop-up stores. Pop-up stores is where I set up a small store with my key items, keys, SKUs, high selling SKUs over a weekend so that I can create visibility, I can improve sales and create a new bunch of customers. But what is surprising is hybrid stores that are picking up rapidly, especially in China. There is this shop called Big Small Coffee, which is a big breakfast joint in the morning. It is a lunch place in the afternoon, and it is a fine dining restaurant in the evening. Now, a customer who wants can experience all kinds of cuisines in a span of 8 to 12 hours just by going to the Big Small Cafe. And it is not a huge place. If you see these images, it's a very small place, but how they have redesigned the whole place in a certain district in China is highly noteworthy. The other one is Gucci. Gucci doesn't need any introduction. Gucci picked up a landmark building in New York City, and they have transformed that place into an experience center. And they not only have um, the best of fashion apparels inside the store. They also run fashion shows live from Milan or any other place. And if you see on the right hand corner, bottom right hand corner, you would have seats there, and customers can actually watch the fashion shows that are happening across the continents and can pre-order some of those fashion items right away. Now, again, while we are talking about stores as a service, the transactional stores may not make an overnight disappearance. We still have the likes of Verizon, where a certain section of the store is dedicated to a transaction where I have my mobile units, I have my wires, I have my adapters, everything placed there. Customers can come pick it up and go. But at the same time, on the other side of the store, they have kiosks where customers, if they want to experience the San Francisco iconic sites, they can put on their 3D visual glasses and have a 360-degree experience of the entire city without having to go to those places. Or if they like a certain place, they can click on the screen, avail options of stay, food, and tours of that particular place. So here we are looking at the likes of Google stores, Apple stores being a mix of transactions plus an experience, because these are the hybrid stores, and these tend to be very effective when it comes to high-tech gadgets and experiences. Now, when I'm talking about stores as a service, and I cannot miss talking about shopping in the metaverse. I have my kids playing Fortnite, Minecraft day in and day out, and I'm trying to figure out how they play that. But what I have noticed is there are certain avatars, there are certain apparel that they can purchase with their virtual cash while playing those games. So to catch on to this trend that is picking up, H&M have their virtual store, and customers can add items to the cart and they can do a checkout quickly. What Walmart has done smartly in this particular space is they have tried to expand the remit of their virtual shopping experience into the metaverse, wherein a customer goes into the virtual store, adds items to the cart, and then does a payment through Walmart Pay, digital wallet checkout, and the goods get delivered by drones to the customer's doorstep. So this is all an integrated experience that Walmart has been experimenting at their Bentonville stores. But creating these kind of multiple store formats, creating these stores as a service, is this enough? Most of you would have sat with your kids and seen Peppa Pig, right? And one character in Peppa Pig usually fascinates the retailer in me, and that is Mr. Fox. Whenever Peppa goes to Mr. Fox's store, be it a caravan or be it a physical store, he seems to have everything possible. In this particular image, he even has dentures, which are usually with dentists, and he says, would you want some dentures, Pepper? But is it enough to have a store like that of Mr. Fox's? Well, to a certain extent, yes, because what customers are looking for is in-store experiences as a service. So if you look at this particular view, you have a market differentiators at the bottom and then customer value perception on the left, right? And these are some of the features that customers would really want or wanting to have in the near future. You have dark stores, underperforming stores are being converted into dark stores. If you look at the likes of Swiggy and Zomato, they're investing big time in dark kitchens. There is curbside pickup, which has been made very interesting by Target, has been adopted by all other retailers. For example, Albertsons in the US uses automated curbside pickup. Then my fellow panelists spoke about 30-minute delivery, but 10-minute delivery, but are we getting down to even lower levels of delivery? When I say lower level, lesser amount of time taken for delivery. Then there are live commerce corners inside the stores, wherein a customer can experience a product. For example, expectant parents can experience a product, a pram, even before they want to buy it. There could be interaction with social media influencers. You saw the example of Gucci, where there is collaboration with fashion houses. Gucci, in one of the Italian stores, the entire exterior of the store has fine arts. They have paintings outside the store, which is actually it's very attractive. And then a lot of stores are also experimenting with providing individual entertainment, infotainment. And if you look at the likes of Airtel or Geo, or if you look at AT&T in the US, they are checking how to reduce the amount of time taken by the customer to first time customer in the store from say 60 minutes to 20 minutes, but at the same time ensuring that he buys more products from us. So a lot of these retailers are going above and beyond in terms of analyzing the customer journey and shaping their in-store experiences as a service. If you look at voice-assisted shopping, personalized services, these have started to become very generic. Even if you look at loyalty, scan and go, mobile pause, new product launches, they have more or less commodity. Customers tend to accept this, saying that this is a given. What more can a retail store give? The ones that are core and differentiators, which are visible and invisible, make or break a customer's experience in the store, make or break the retailer's top line and bottom line. But all this looks really awesome. I mean, this is all jazzy. We spoke about different store formats. We talk about different features that customers want to improve their experiences with. But how does the retailer determine the success of these formats? What does success look like for a retailer? These are some of the indicative objectives and key results and key performance indicators that determine the success of store services. I mean, these have been there since the very beginning. They have been sharpened, streamlined over the period of time. You want improved average order value. You want improved conversions. You want uptick in cross-sell and upsell opportunities. We spoke about how some of these specialty retailers like telco retailers want to improve the checkout speed, but at the same time retain the customers. How do I improve revenue and margins? That is through bundling, personalized content. How do I provide recommendations? How can I encourage customers to trial my products? How do I onboard a very niche product quickly so that the customer can experience that product quickly and start making it a regular purchase as part of the shopping basket? Last but not the least, faster delivery, reduce cancellations and returns. We've seen with some of the DIY retailers, do-it-yourself retailers, wherein order cancellations are starting to bite them, and they have come to us to ask, how do I predict cancellations? Is it possible to analyze that a particular merchandise would get returned? That is what retailers like Gap are trying to do in terms of buying niche service providers like Draper, which provides them fit analysis so that they are able to reduce the returns because of a fit problem. If it could be something else, but because of it, they are trying to reduce those returns. And they provide these magic mirrors inside the stores so that customers can trial those apparels and can pick it up, and returns for the customers also reduces, the load on the customer service desk also reduces. With all of this, we've seen that when between peak of the pandemic, we saw so much talk about stores shutting down. It was getting to a point of being very depressing. But again, what has happened, what the pandemic has done to the retail stores is it has helped them rethink, re-strategize, and reinvigorate their offerings and reposition themselves in the customer psyche so that they are able to thrive, they are able to improve their top line and bottom line growth. In 2020, during the pandemic, there were headlines about retail stores are dead. But now, just like when a monarch dies, we say that the king is the emperor is dead, long live the emperor, because there is succession. The stores are alive and kicking. They are getting better and stronger. They are becoming experience centers. Custom retailers are transforming their services as the features as a service based on the customer's psyche, customer's needs. They are transforming, they are refreshing those features so that the customers walks into the store, buys a merchandise, and continues to be a loyal customer with that particular retailer. On that note, happy shopping, everyone. Thanks for listening to me. I now hand it back to Romal.
Hey Bala, thanks so much. We have a question that's come up. Can you take that? It's so experienced Amazon Go in San Francisco. Do you think similar formats would be the way to go for other categories?
Yes, there's never an easy answer to Amazon Go. So when Amazon Go was launched a few years ago, they made some very jazzy looking video, and even myself, I shared it on my LinkedIn profile, on my Facebook profile, and I clicked like across all those platforms. But what has happened is beyond the hype and hoopla is the reality that starts sinking in. Amazon has experimented, has implemented these stores in cluster in the US. What it has now done is it is now tying up with other retailers, just like you've seen Ocado selling their online platform, Amazon selling AWS to other retailers. Now they're selling their Amazon Go services to other retailers. But is it cost effective for the retailers to invest in that technology? Retailers are yet to take a firm decision on that. We've seen experiments by Tesco in Welwyn Garden City in the UK. They have tied up with a Israeli startup to do this. After setting up 6 or 7 stores, they have slowed down their investment. But at the same time, this is a concept which will continue to be experimented. This is the concept that will continue to thrive. But again, the proliferation of this format will not be at the same pace as it was anticipated when it was first launched.